We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. You can watch us too. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. And if you ever played with a slingshot or something similar when you were a kid and you didn't have a chance to maybe compete with that, well, I'm sorry you missed out, but your kids now have an opportunity to do that with the 4-H. And joining us today is Reed, Scott, and Jim by phone. They all work with the 4-H services within their communities to bring about Slingshot for the first time. So welcome all. Welcome, Jim. You're with us.
Thank you, yes.
All right, I'm going to start with you, Reed, though, because you mentioned you're kind of the outdoor side, and maybe you're not the one who got this started. But when we think of 4-H, I think of shooting programs, I think of all kinds of agricultural programs and livestock programs, but I never heard of Slingshot. So how did the Slingshot wound up in the long list of the programs that the 4-H provides?
Well, so I'm over our 4-H shooting sports program. We have numerous disciplines: 22 rifle, shotgun, archery, muzzleloader, different ones. Well, about almost 2 years ago now, Jim, he came in my office there at Mississippi State and walked in. He said, "What do you think about adding slingshot to your shooting sports discipline lineup?" I sat there a second. I went, "I like it. What are we gonna do? Go out to a junkyard, shoot windows out of cars?" And it kind of started from there. We laugh about that, but we kind of started working with a guy that owns a slingshot company out of North Carolina, and got on the phone with him and just kind of talked about some different ideas and whatnot to kind of get kids involved. And next thing you know, we had some of our top notch, like Scott here with me. He was one of our shotgun instructors and with 4-H certified instructor. And next thing you know, we
slinging shot and slinging.
We're out there playing with slingshots, and I mean, most people had in Mississippi, I would say, had a slingshot when they were
made one, improvised.
I know I had several when I was a kid, and we shoot rocks and whatever, but
never knew that it could be a sport that could become a discipline. Okay, Jim. So first, tell us what county that you volunteer or work with 4-H in, and then what inspired you to bring to Reed this idea of adding slingshot to the program.
Rebecca, I'm in Winston County up here in Louisville. One thing that really brought about the thinking process on this is at the university, we are always looking for ways to pull more youth into 4-H because this is such a positive experience for young people. And the expense of 4-H could be an issue. Accessibility to some of the things in shooting sports might be an issue. And we thought, after talking about this with some of our other agents and some minority agents, we want to make sure this is inclusive to everybody, economics, race, whatever. We want to make sure we're doing everything possible to pull in every young person that wants to participate. And we don't want there to be any obstacles, and expense being one of them. So you can get into the sport of slingshot for, $30.
Yeah, it's much cheaper than a gun. Yeah, so, or a bow. We have a few of those for the kids too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an effort to put out there for all young people to have an avenue into 4-H. We don't want any obstacle. And Reed is very forward thinking, and we did have some resistance at first, not from Reed. But I don't think people understood. They were just thinking this is just a toy. What we're going to do with it and that sort of thing. It's brand new. It's brand new to the country.
I was just going to ask. So is Mississippi the first to have slingshot as part of their 4-H program?
As far as we know. So I've talked with our national shooting sports coordinator, and he said nobody else is doing it. But on a large scale like we are the first as far as we know. So
when we think about adding in a program to 4-H, like now that you all have sort of come together and decided this should be a good idea, and I'm sure help those that may have reservations. I mean, as a parent, my first reservation would be, just like with any shooting thing, the safety sort of it. The difference between a gun and a bow and arrow is you can put this in your backpack and take it to school, and it's not. And so I could see that. But like any other device that you shoot that can cause harm, there should be responsible parenting and education that comes around it, and then it should be safe and fun and all the things, which I'm sure you guys are doing.
Well,
what happens next? How do you get your first school, your first whatever to say, hey, or do you just put it out there into 4-H land for kids to sign up, Reed?
So we have certified coaches here, and we have trainings available across the state, throughout the year. And from the get-go, I said we need to have our volunteers go through a training. We have certified volunteers for all the other disciplines, and kind of the 4-H way. So we mainly got them in there and spent a day training with them. First of all, we started with our curriculum, I guess our course of fire, our rules. We kind of ironed those out and played with them just amongst us.
Yeah,
Scott, jump on in here, Scott.
I was going to say, so Scott, you're certified for 4-H with shooting. When Reed came to you, it's like, hey, we're going to add slingshot to this. I mean, what's your first reaction?
So, as like Jim was saying, some people don't have as much of a positive reaction to it, and I can come in on that side of it because Reed called me and I said, slingshots.
It sounds a little dangerous.
What are we going to do with slingshots? But my wife went to the first slingshot training in December of last year. Mm-hmm. She calls me all excited, and I ordered us up a couple slingshots.
Not on your bingo card.
The water is deep. Let me just say, because I kind of go all in.
Yeah.
And it has been really, really, really good for the kids. Though I mean, we've had a lot of kids that you don't normally see, come out. A lot of younger kids are so excited about the slingshot discipline, and because it's something they can do a little easier. They can get on board a little easier.
You can also do it. You don't have to be in the county to do it in terms of shooting. You don't have. It's still, you need to have your respect and responsibility around it, but
most people can do it at home.
Right.
They
in the backyard with a safe setup. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Jim, is this a world, like I know this is the first 4-H, but is there a slingshot world, underground world we don't know about in terms of like, can kids take it outside of 4-H and be competitive kind of like they can with shooting or bow and arrow or archery, or is this strictly kind of right now in its own little bubble?
No, that's a good question, Rebecca. After I got interested in slingshots, before I even talked to Reed about it, I was, as everyone does, I got on YouTube and I started researching, slingshots. And I thought all there was to slingshots was the wrist rockets that you buy at Walmart. And as Scott said, the waters are deep. There's so much more to slingshots than you may think. And folks, if you're listening, you think about, well, I had one when I was a kid. Erase that memory. Get on YouTube. Look at modern day slingshots. Simple Shot is the company that's helped us out. They're probably America's renowned slingshot company, and they're world renowned as well. But yeah, the waters are deep. But I do want to encourage people: don't get the addiction to it that Scott got. Then it becomes not affordable.
So what you're telling me, Scott, is there all, like anything else in life, there's all kinds of levels of slingshots you can buy?
They do make customs.
Do you and your wife have matching slingshots now?
Multiple.
Is hers blinged out?
We laid a few out on the table this morning. First time we had actually done that.
Do you and your wife also, partake in like other shooting sports?
We do. We both do shotgun, rifle, pistol.
You have a
stuff
problem,
like
Scott.
I do have a problem.
He's showing me a picture of probably a dozen or more slingshots there. Are they easier to collect and quicker to collect than firearms?
They are. They are, absolutely. I mean, and like they mentioned, Simple Shots, they've been a big supporter, and they're right there in North Carolina. They're here in the country, and, they went through Hurricane Helene back last year, and they never stopped supporting us. So
I'm sure they would love to see the sport catch on in all 4-H's.
Oh, yeah. They're giving our 4-H'ers a discount, if they purchase a slingshot from them. And
are other 4-H programs watching and chattering?
They are.
Because, I know in other sports of 4-H, you can go on, there's national levels to, particularly the shooting sports, isn't there?
So you're right, we have a national championship and all across 48 states, I think the national 4-H shooting sports program is in. But I've had numerous states have contacted me in the last few months. The word's gotten out that they're wanting what we have right now, our rules and curriculum and all.
Well, we're getting the word out about Slingshot being a 4-H sport here in Mississippi. We've got more with the boys coming up now. Talk TV. We're continuing our conversation with Mr. Reed, Mr. Scott, Mr. Jim. They're all with the 4-H program here in Mississippi, and they had their first season of Slingshot as part of the shooting discipline. First ever in the whole country, which I am going to go ahead and speak it. Reed, you guys are going to lead the way, or Mississippi's going to lead the way in bringing Slingshot as a sport in 4-H to the rest of the nation. I think it's really exciting. But you mentioned that this is just a tool that 4-H uses. So, Reed, on a daily basis, like, what's the mission of 4-H, and how is it able to use Slingshot as a discipline to reach its or complete its mission?
So our ultimate goal is education, educating youth, to have them set goals. I mean, from the livestock program to the shooting sports program to public speaking or whatever. We want these young people to set goals, to build their self-esteem, put them in, like our volunteers here. We have certified volunteers that go through extensive training, to work with them, so we're not just turning them out there with anybody. And we have strict protocols, but our main goal is to get these young people involved and help them make them productive citizens, as adults. So
and give them something to do, and technically something to do with their hands, right?
That's right.
Other than you can't play on a phone if you've got a slingshot.
And our ultimate goal with the shooting sports program is, of course, safety is our number one goal. Is teach them safety. We want them to look past their target, know what their target is. There's so many things I could talk about here, but that's our main goal is the safety end of it. So
well, let's talk too about the sport, because this was the first year. Jim, did you have in mind how the sport would look or the season would look with Slingshot when it first got introduced into 4-H? Jim, are you still with us? Jim.
Oh, did you do that for me, Rebecca? I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Yes. Did you have an idea of what because it wasn't already a sport, how to set up the season or how to set up the competition part of it?
Well, with much deliberation with Scott and Danielle and Jeff and Karen Pugh, which are on the road listening to us, and happy anniversary to them, our volunteers. They have helped design the competitions, how it's scored. So we let the volunteers get in the driver's seat on this and lead the way. And that's one thing, Rebecca, I would love to let folks know. Extension agents are assistants to the volunteers, essentially. If we could, 4-H is a volunteer-driven aspect of Mississippi Extension, and we need volunteers. So if you've got a heart for service and young people, and you want to see young people thrive, 4-H is the avenue for you to do that. But the way that the season was set up, no, that's going to be more of a Reed question, and everything is so new. We've done some localized shoots, and we just had a state shoot. But I'll let you Reed as how this is going to look in the future.
Kind of already have a template with your other shooting sports, right, Reed? So I'm sure it looks very similar to that.
Very similar. It was a standalone. We have our district and a state championship events, with all the other disciplines together. This was a standalone event, and we had our state championship for Slingshot just a couple of weeks ago in West Point. But I guess the best way as far as explaining how it all what it looks like to people, it looks like a 3D archery, but we're shooting metal cutouts of animals to old tin cans. We call that junk. Shooting junk, I guess. Different type targets, I guess, but it's that sound. So when they hit the target, it's that ting and we're using clay balls. You can buy them at Walmart, the little clay ammo. So you don't have to go out and retrieve your ammo. So you were asking about that a minute ago, but
which is nice.
Yeah, that's right. So they they have a scoring system, and we have a speed course. So that's what we call that, a woods course, walking through. If each target's numbered and they have to hit it, in so many shots. Then we have a speed course, and they have to shoot. It's timed and. So I explained it. We made them take a test at our state championship the other day, and it was all about slingshot safety and parts of the slingshot, things like that. Next year it may be something natural resource related, different types of snakes in Mississippi or something like that. I guess I'm just off the top of my head. We hadn't come up with that. But.
Yeah, and don't shoot snakes with your slingshot.
That's right.
But Scott, so teaching it, obviously teaching, archery or teaching shooting is one thing. How was it trying to figure out how to coach and teach a slingshot?
Well, obviously it's completely different than anything else. In one aspect, in another, it's all the same. You just be consistent. Anchor points, lining everything up. if somebody's good at shooting a shotgun, they'll be great at shooting a slingshot. I mean, we've had that proven time and time again. But the teaching of it is not difficult at all. But
you hurt yourself. So if they're looking at SuperTalk TV, I'm going to hold up the one that you gave me, and so I mean it looks like you would think, but it's just fancier. And you just put the little thing in there and pull back, and then obviously you let go. Can it I guess listen to me using big words, recoil on you, like guns or anything? Like, is there any way for, like, if you mess up or don't know what you're doing, are you going to hurt yourself?
You've got to hold the frame of it
pretty and then pull it back. And
yes, you don't want to have any bend in their angle in it, because if it hits the side of that frame,
it could.
With a little clay ball, it's not. It's a lot less forgiving than, say, a marble or something. But.
Right. If you take the pouch and if you tweak it or something like that, then it will fly up. But once you get it going through that frame, you've got
hooked.
Over half the battle going. You know, once you get it going through and not hitting the frame itself.
What's it like when you watch kids make connection for the first time with a slingshot?
Lots of.
It's absolutely great. I mean.
It's that instant gratification. When they hit it and they hear that ting, it's like, I did it. I hit it. I accomplished my goal.
It's just like the speed round. In practice, the kid, one of our kids, I think he probably had like 40 seconds in the speed round. And you have to do it in a minute, so he wasn't expecting a lot. When he showed up and stepped up in the competition, he shot the speed round in 23.83 seconds. And that's 5 targets running in between stations.
I think you're going to see that improve, because, like Jim mentioned, one thing that I will say, that this is going to be open to more people, and they're going to have more access to it, and they're going to have more ability to practice. Even though there is safety involved, most young kids can go outside after school and don't have to be supervised if they want to load up cans and sort of shoot with this, where absolutely, if you're going to have some other devices, you may, at a certain age, you're going to have parental supervision more so. I'm not undermining the safety. It's just going to be easier for them to get in more reps.
Well, and that's when you look at how good our kids are doing with it already, it's brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been doing this for years. Some of them have only been doing it for weeks, days sometimes.
Okay, so we've got excited parents and caregivers on the text line who want to, how do I sign my kid up? Can homeschool kids sign up? So, and this goes back to all 4-H, Reed. I want to make sure that we let people know how they can get involved. So how do you get involved? When's the next season?
In all 82 counties here in Mississippi, we have your local extension office. Go and sign your kid up in 4-H. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. Sign them up in 4-H.
It's because it's county-based. It's not school-based.
That's right. It's county-based.
Right.
So.
And, okay, so, Jim, what's it like knowing that Slingshot has become a thriving sport for 4-H?
Well, it's definitely catching steam, and it is very good to see. And really, it's just that avenue of getting into marksmanship that's never been offered. Some people don't like guns. Some people don't want to buy a bow. It's appealing to a lot more people. And I think you had asked me earlier about, is there like an underground community of slingshotters around? There is. You can get on YouTube, obviously, and see that. But, yeah, these people are out there. And what we're trying to do in 4-H is tap into these people that are already doing these things, tap them in, bring their young people in, bring your skills in as a volunteer. So, yeah.
People want to volunteer, Reed. How do they do that? They're excited about it.
Go to their local extension office, same way, and talk with the county, their 4-H agent or extension agent in their county. And sign up as a volunteer and go through our training.
Will there be information on the website on, like, gear to buy or slingshots to buy or links or?
We actually have a video on our extension.msstate.edu website or extension MSU Cares. You can put that in. I think it takes you right to our extension website here in Mississippi. But we have a video where Jim and I actually talk about.
Oh, perfect. We will link that in the Good Things Facebook group if people want to go and sort of see that and get a quick access to it. When does the next season start, or whatever you call it?
Right now, I guess. Y'all are practicing right now, aren't you, Scott?
Well, we typically start ours up in February. We start our season with a hunter safety class. And we use that. A lot of our kids are homeschooled. They don't get that in school, and a lot of schools don't do the hunter safety like they used to. So, in Webster County, we put on a hunter safety class. Use that as our first stage of safety. And I mean, we've had kids that will do that in February, and then we go.
When's the championship?
So this last one was just a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not sure what we'll do this next year.
In and talk about Slingshot next time. How about that?
That sounds good.
Where do they go for all the information, Reed?
Our extension.msstate.edu website.
All righty. I appreciate your time, Jim. Thank you
Thank you.
All right. And Reed and Scott, thank y'all so much. You guys stick with us, though. We got more for you.